Okay, friends, before we jump in, if you want daily encouragement, real life ideas, and a place to ask questions, come join our free Clutter Free Academy Facebook group. Just search Clutter Free Academy on Facebook and we'll welcome you in. We're going to ask you a couple questions because we only let the nice people in, but then we will let you in. It's a great group and I know you're going to love it. See you over there. Well, hey friends, welcome to Clutter Free Academy, where our goal is to help you take small, doable steps to live every day with less clutter and more life. I'm Kathi Lipp, and today we're talking, well, with Roger Lipp, my favorite person to do life with, raise our puppy together, and defeat clutter.
Woohoo!
Roger, welcome back to the podcast.
Thank
Um,
you. Thank you.
this is going to be our most boring episode ever. I'm just putting it out there, right? But I want to talk to you guys. We want to talk to you about one of our favorite truths. Boring systems set you free. I know, isn't that the best title for a podcast ever?
It's so
Right?
true. And
But
it's true in so many areas of our lives.
it
Yeah.
yeah. Can I just tell you, flossing is the most boring thing in the world.
Yeah.
There's nothing I like less than flossing, but that boring system keeps us from thousands of dollars in dental bills. So we do the boring thing.
Yep.
And today we're going to talk about boring system number one, the landing pad. I'm going to call
Mm.
it the combo landing launch pad
Okay.
because, and we all know what we're talking about here. It's when you get home and you want to collapse. You just want to, and I'm going to venture that maybe we might want to collapse more than the average bear. Now, if you live in Minnesota or Alaska, no, I'm not comparing my struggle to yours. But when we leave the house, we're leaving for, you know, 5 to 6 to 8 hours at a time, just because we live so far away. We're going to get
We've got a
everything done at once.
long travel. Yeah.
And when we come
Yeah.
home, the last thing we want to do is unpack or da da da. But you know what? It makes a difference how we come home. But I want to talk about this, but we're going to be really honest because we're doing some things right and we still have some things that we need to fix, right?
That's a fair statement. We are not we are not there.
Yeah,
We're a work in progress.
we're on the road. We have not arrived.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, here's the thing. Those of us who struggle with clutter tend to look for dopamine hits. We want the
Mm.
prize. We want, we're big claw machine people. We want to grab that little gifty. We love to buy the new bin that's going to magically solve all of our problems. The fresh start, that one Saturday that's going to transform your house. But boring systems don't give you that hit. They feel very unexciting. And yet, boring systems are the things that keep life from running into an emergency every other day. It keeps us. Now, here's the problem.
Yeah.
We also, us cluttery people, do really well in a crisis because that is also a hit of adrenaline that sometimes we feel like we need. We're really great right before a party. We can pull things together in an instant, but it's an exhausting way to live. And it's also hard on maybe some of our not so dopamine seeking family members or friends. Um,
Yeah, I've
you
never
know,
looked at it from this perspective of the dopamine hit versus the routine
yeah.
perspective. They are a bit at odds. I think about how you save money. How do you save money? Well, you have an automatic deposit to a savings account, and
Boring.
it's boring because you don't do anything with it. It
Right.
just happens, and there's no dopamine hit there.
It's
Yeah,
so much more
interesting.
fun to spend that money, right? It's so much more fun.
Yes.
Yeah, and it would be a great dopamine hit to pay off $1,000 of debt. But how often do you get to do that? You just really don't. So You agree the boring things we resist even if it works, right? Because it's
Oh,
boring.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah.
so hard to rise to the occasion. To, all right, we've got to, do the thing. We've got to clean out the car. We have to hang the keys. Whatever it is, it's just drudgery at
But
times.
we need
Yeah,
to be forward thinking. We need to be thinking,
yeah.
that
Hmm.
that whole thing, a stitch in time saves nine. Like if I just do this little thing right now, it's going to save me so much drama later on. Okay. So let's start, Roger, with what we're doing right, because I think people
Yep.
assume we live in some magically organized home. Somebody came to our house for a party last weekend and she gave us, oh my goodness, it was this beautiful Italian bowl with this red house on it. And of course, we live at the red house and it was snow covered. She goes, I really hesitated giving this to you. She'd never been to our house before. She goes, because I know that you're a minimalist. And I'm like, huh? No, I'm not a minimalist. I like stuff, but I don't like clutter. And so, people think we live in some magically perfectly organized home, that we're minimalist, we have nothing out. Um, which is so not true. But I will say I feel like we live a really beautifully balanced life. I feel like our life, for the most part, is in balance. There are sometimes we're ahead of the game. There are more times that we're kind of behind the game, but it's 1,000 times better than it was 5 years ago, and it's 100,000 times better than it was for me 25 years ago.
Mm.
So one of the things I'm going to say we with some big old quotation marks around it. One of the things that we do well is you unload the car after every trip.
Yeah, because we go into town very regimented,
Hmm.
very, at very specific times, and we're gone for hours.
Yeah.
And so we've had lunch in the car. We've done life in the car, and it's
Right.
accumulated stuff. We went into
Yeah.
town to get something or whatever. So that needs to come out, and something needs to happen with it. And uh, just having that habit, that routine of, okay, we've arrived. Let's clean out the stuff that we've brought uh, out of the car so that it could be processed through the house wherever it needs to go,
And
trash or
I will
wherever.
say my part in that is I'm putting away groceries, I'm, doing those kind of things. So you're bringing it to into the kitchen table, and I'm getting it mostly where it needs to go. I will say I'm not great about finishing it because my energy is so low right now. But we also know there are consequences when we don't do that. We just experienced one of those consequences this week, or I'll say I experienced one of those
Yeah.
consequences this week. But it was pouring rain. I mean, like there were flood warnings. And so you didn't unload the entire car, correct?
I missed a few things. Yeah, I brought in what I thought was important for to get it out of the car, that I could see, and I was leaving the rest for the next day. And I
And
missed something important, near and dear to your heart.
milk.
Milk. Coffee is the critical resource in our house.
Yeah. That's
And
the
yeah,
coffee and the milk and your creamer are the things we should never run out of. And
yep.
so the milk was left overnight. And so, like, guys, I lived, I have soldiered on. That I think that's the first time in our marriage that has happened. But yeah, we were out of milk. So, we still haven't gone back to get more milk. We had some in the freezer. All is well. I will survive. I am the hero. Let's just be clear. I am the hero of this story. Um,
Yes.
but it really does. I mean, when we get home, we're pretty exhausted. It's been a long day, but you are pretty regimented about doing the boring task of unloading the car because it
Yep.
makes the rest of our lives work better. and we know where things are. Yeah, the milk, you guys, was in a box. It was a box of 3 half gallons of milk. That's why it looked like other boxes that could wait till the next day. It was a
It just
totally
did. Yeah.
understandable thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mistakes
Um,
happen.
but Roger is so great about these things. Okay, so that's win number one. Roger unloads the car and I put things away. And I usually get dinner started at that time, or, unpacked or whatever we're going to do. So we do have a great routine with that. And it's a boring routine, but it works for us. Win number two, the hook system inside the
Oh,
living room cabinet. So, Roger, talk about that,
this,
because you're the main
yeah.
user of that.
Well, this was game. You put it in place. I was just throwing keys wherever.
But you use the system, and
I do.
in so many families, that is not the circumstance.
Yeah, yeah. We have a white cabinet at our entry, and Kathy put some key hooks inside that cabinet, and we just put our car keys on the hook, and now we know where the car keys are. And our wallet we have a spot in that cabinet for our wallet, or my wallet. Yeah, it
My
just works.
purse.
There's a place to unload after you've come in from the car. And
Yeah.
for us,
So
that's very important.
we can hang jackets in there, scarves, hats when it's really cold. You tend to wear baseball hats a lot, so
Yeah,
especially when
yeah,
it's sunny out. Um,
yeah.
it works because it's hidden, but it's easy. It's not like, oh, you're having to go through 3 extra steps to put that away. It's a natural place where you walk in, and it just reduces the daily scavenger hunt. And it
It,
makes a huge difference.
yeah, yeah, huge. When you're trying to get out the door,
Yeah.
I know where my wallet is usually, and I know where the keys are. It
Yes.
kind of reminds me of the shoe system that you put in place at our San
Oh yeah.
Jose house.
Where, okay, let's be honest. I was so sick of everybody just kicking their shoes off at the front door. So, but I didn't want like a shoe rack where everybody could see our son's dirty tennis shoes. Never occurred to me to wash them, but whatever. And so you built for me behind the couch this shoe rack. And I said, okay, guys, this is where we're putting our shoes. Well, there was only one person in the house who ever used it, and it wasn't me, it was you. Um, there are so many advantages to being married to an engineer, you guys. The rule following is key. It's wonderful. But it didn't work because it wasn't part of the natural flow of things. So we finally just put a basket by the front door. And even if
That
all
works.
the shoes didn't make it into it, I could throw them in there and it was fine. So yeah. And let's talk about by the front door. Another thing that I feel like we've got a win on is the chair by the front door. That's a
Oh yeah,
staging area.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a nice it's right by the front door, so it gives us a place to put things that are going out the door. Like if we have to take something to mom's, or we want to drop something off at a recycling center or a donation center, it gives us a place next time we're heading out, because again, we don't do that every day. We
right.
need a place to kind of accumulate um, those things. So that's super convenient. And honestly, we don't really need a chair there. It's not
Yeah,
like we need to sit. It's a convenient
right.
flat surface for this. Yeah.
It really is. And by the way, guys, like we don't live in a museum and neither do you. And so to have some of that, I know it's seen, but not everything in your house can be hidden all the time and it works out. So those are the things that are working. So we do have some landing pad pieces. We just don't have all the system finished yet. So here's what we don't have dialed in: mail.
Mm.
Mail is
Oh
still
boy.
it's a work in progress. And we don't have one place where all the mail we have complicated mail. uh, it in San Jose, it used to be we had a slot in our garage, we'd go grab that, bada bing. Now we get mail at my mom's house, we get mail at the PO box, and we get mail at our own mailbox. And it doesn't matter why those things are all happening. There are reasons behind it. Living up here, if we didn't have all three of those things, well, I'll just say it, like our insurance stuff, they'll only send it to your place of residence. So we had to get a mailbox. Our PO box is for
Well,
our
and
date.
let's just say that when we first moved up here, we didn't actually have a physical mailbox for several years.
Yeah.
We had an address. There was just no mailbox.
Right. And we finally said, okay, it's easier to get this done.
Yeah.
Our day-to-day mail is at our PO box, but some places you can't have a PO box. And for 95% of our deliveries, they go to my mom's house because people cannot figure out how to deliver stuff up here. It's crazy. So mail is complicated. We don't have one place where all the mail goes, and we don't have the habit of recycling junk mail immediately when we get home. So it kind of just floats. So yeah, we've thought of a couple of different things. And so I'm going to propose a couple of different solutions to you. And I'm open to either of these, Roger. So
Okay, so we're brainstorming live here on the podcast. Okay.
Because here's the thing. I know I can set up the system, but I also know you're the better enforcer of the systems. So I want to think what's going to work for you. So one thing we thought about is having like a little bag that we take. The problem is that we have two different cars that we take for different reasons to town each time. And so it's not like we can just go put that back in the car and grab it and sort it. So that's the one I was kind of leaning towards. The other one is having some kind of basket in our front entryway, or maybe in our white cabinet in the kitchen, where it lands, but both of these systems, you and I have to be faithful once a week to go through it. So what's your initial thought of what we should try?
I like the idea of a basket at the front door. That feels very doable because that's the inbound collection point for our mail. I feel like we need to probably pre-sort that real quick. What's junk, so that we're not putting just obvious recycling into that. Because I think that's our problem, is not only the accumulation of it, where do we collect it, but then doing something with it also seems to be very difficult for me anyway, because everything in our financial world is on auto pay. So incoming mail, I don't know, whatever. But so there's not that huge, now it's time to process bills and that sort of thing, because it's just happening automatically.
When we lived in San Jose, we would do Monday nights, money and munchies. So like we would get food and then we'd sit down. But there hasn't been that much of a need because everything is on auto pay. But there's still some of those things that we need to go through. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about our next steps in the landing pad. Okay, coffee break. This is the podcast that helps you feel a little bit more calm and less behind. And you can support the show through coffee. That is a way that you can give back, that you can keep us going, and where we don't have to share commercials that don't align with our values or with yours. The link is in the show notes, but you can go to Kathi.link/coffee. That's KATHI.link/COFFEE. And that will take you to coffee, where you can make a donation. We have appreciated so many of you with your continued support of $5 or $10 a month. We also just got a huge gift just yesterday for somebody who says they've been listening since 2015 and it's made a real difference in their home. And we love to hear those testimonials about the difference this podcast is making. If it's made a difference, we would love for you to partner with us. Thanks so much for listening and being a part of the show. Okay, we're back. So here's what we're putting in place. Okay, we're going to find a basket. Where do you think that should go? In the front entry, the white cabinet? Where do you think it should go?
I think it should go on the green table on the left side of the door.
Oh, the green table. Okay, I can see that. Yes, we have a green like dresser there.
Right by the chair for our outbound.
Yes. Yes. Oh, I love it. Okay. Okay, so and the mail is going to go into the landing pad every time. I'm going to go get the mail and we're going to put it, I'm going to find a basket that's cute that it can go in and we're going to put it there every time. That's going to be our rule, okay? And we're going to immediately recycle junk mail. I would love to put a little, you know what? We might be able to put a little garbage can or a recycling can on the other side of that green thing that we can just drop it in there, because the less resistance, the better, right?
Right.
And
you don't want to have to then take the recycling to, across the room to the recycling can.
Exactly. We need less resistance, not more.
Yes.
Okay. When are we going to go through that each week? It can't be on Fridays when we get home. Could it be Wednesday night? Because we're doing crafts on Wednesday night. Could we spend 5 minutes before we do our crafts? We go through all of that. And that sets us up because Thursday we go to mom's, we go get our mail, all that kind of stuff. We come home. You don't like that idea. Tell me more.
I was trying to sync it up with when do we come back with the mail. So the mail enters the house on Friday,
right?
Typically, and I wonder if going back to our Monday munchies would be a good idea.
Okay, let's do that.
That way, if there's something important in that mail, we don't lose track of it.
That is true. Okay, so I am putting on my calendar right now that we're going to do that on Monday. Look at me flipping pages in my calendar. I'll put it on our regular calendar.
While you do that, I just wanted to point out the importance of the Monday munchies part.
Tell me more.
This was our way of trying to reward ourselves for doing the boring task of going through finances and mail.
Okay, so we need to plan some kind of treat to go with that.
Exactly.
So go through
the
mail
part.
and treat. Okay. I love it. Okay. Okay, so we're going to do that on Monday night. Every Monday night, we're going to clean out the mail. Okay. And I think we've tied the reward. That's really important, guys. If you need a dopamine hit and you're going to go through your mail once a week to really, go through it, then might I suggest tying something. It's, you and your spouse get a Starbucks and you sit down together and you go through the mail. Or maybe, here's another thing. Trader Joe's has these croissants that you defrost for 8 hours and then you stick them in. They're the chocolate croissants. That could be your reward to go through it. You make coffee at home and you do that little treat, something like that. But what's your dopamine going to be for that time? How are you going to tie it to some dopamine? Here's the thing. This isn't exciting. There's nothing you're going to put on Instagram about this, but it will change our week if we actually do this. So, and here's another thing I know. Our brains like scripts. So if we come up with a script, we walk in, we toss the junk mail, we hang the person keys, drop legit meal in the tray, done. Or, it's probably going to be walk in, hang person keys, toss the junk mail and drop the legit mail in the tray. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. We love a routine. We love a little walk around. We're going to walk in, we're going to go to the right, hang our stuff up. We're going to take our mail to the left. We're going to dump it. I am going to put a recycling basket right next to the green tray as soon as we get off of here. Okay. So, and then We're going to pair the hard things with a weekly, with something that's pleasant, coffee, music, starting a show. We said we wanted to watch Severance. So maybe we do this and then we eat dinner and we watch Severance. So it's permission to relax once you've
Mm.
done the little hard thing that kind of is a blip. And then we're going to keep it really cute. We're going to keep that landing pad container attractive and satisfying, a tray that we really like. Not fancy, nothing with a cover. That's the thing. People are going to want to put a
Oh.
cover on this to make it look cute. Can't do that. Can't do it because for us, cluttery people, out of sight is out of mind. So we're going to put this reminder on our phone for the weekly reset. I'm going to put it as a mutual event in our phones. So because we don't want to keep permanent storage. Okay. So friends, I'm going to encourage you to set up your landing pad or whatever part of the landing pad is not working for you. Do you need to put up a command hook for your keys? Do you need to commit to unloading your car every time you get home? What's the one thing you're going to do that makes your landing pad more workable, usable, and makes your week run so much more smoothly? Roger, thanks for being willing to talk about what we're actually
Oh,
doing and what's working, right?
yeah, yeah. No, this is good. And we got to brainstorm. Thank you.
I love that. And thank you for being the guy who unloads the car. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate that. Okay, friends, you have been listening to Clutter Free Academy. I'm Kathi Lipp. Now, go create the clutter free life you've always, and I do mean this, always wanted to live.